Let's go to Chelsea in Columbus, Ohio. What's up, Chelsea?
Hi, how are you?
So good. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. So my question today is, how do I build confidence while dating? And some backstory to that is that I am 31, but I have cerebral palsy. I walk independently with no assistant devices or anything like that, but I just struggle in this one area of life, and I don't know how to fix it.
Okay, so tell me about you. What do you do? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Ohio. I work for the state commerce compliance department.
That's just a barrel of monkeys.
It's fun. I really like it. My team is really cool.
Did you know in the
healthcare.
history of the English language, no one has ever uttered the sentence you just uttered? The compliance and whatever department is fun, and I like it. No one's ever said those words ever. You're like Shakespeare now. That's fantastic. No, that's awesome. I'm so glad you love your work, man. My buddy works in compliance for the government, and he loves it. And I would rather set my face on fire just to see if I can still feel things. And so good. Hey, somebody has to do that. I'm so grateful for you. How'd you get this job? How'd you get into it?
Well, that's funny too. My degree is in healthcare administration, but right before the pandemic, I just decided to try something new, started applying for different jobs, and ended up in this agency. I had worked for other agencies that were more dealing with the public before that, and then just kind of stumbled upon this because I met somebody who worked in this department at a meeting and just kind of liked what they had to say, so I applied for the job and got it.
Have you ever seen The Matrix?
No.
Well, there's a scene in The Matrix. Just Google dodging bullets when Keanu Reeves leans back and the bullets fly by him. That's what you just did with COVID by getting out of public health 30 minutes before the whole thing went down. Good for you, man.
It's so true.
So
literally like days before.
Where'd you grow up?
Columbus. I still live where I grew up in the same town.
You said that like you failed something. Do you want to go somewhere else?
No, that's all I've ever known.
All right.
I just like it. I like the familiarity between it. And, my friends are here, and I have a big friend group here that I really like. And
so good. All right. So you're delightful.
Thank you.
I work with a lot of mean, pushy people. Just kidding. Kelly's nice. She's nice. But you sound delightful. So tell me about this dating mess.
So I really didn't even know that I had a problem. I have a core group of friends that I would say there's like 8 couples that go out constantly, and then there's me. So I always joke that I'm everybody's girlfriend. And, we go out, and it's like I never feel like the third wheel. I never feel like I'm not part of the group because they've just always made me feel that way. And one of our waitresses one time that we regularly get, she said, I couldn't figure out who you were dating because you walk in on somebody else's arm all the time because we always hold hands as we walk so that I don't fall and things like that. And she said, it's just funny. She said, they just love you. And I said, I know. And I won this kindness award at work, and I sent it in the group chat, and I got all kinds of, congratulations and all that. And then one of my best friends, he said, Chelsea, you're the only one who doesn't get to experience your own kindness. You're not kind to yourself, and I wish that you were. And I said, oh, I never really thought about that. He said, you're so kind to everybody else. I've been in 17 weddings.
Wow.
My fair share. So
I don't have 17
outgoing.
Friends. That's incredible.
No, it's great. My closet is full of these dresses I refuse to get rid of, but it's great. And a little expensive, but hey, it's like one of those things. Like I don't struggle when it comes to building relationships, but I struggle when it comes to dating because I just don't feel like I'm the one someone's going to choose. I always say I think God blinked when He made me, but only in the dating area.
Oh man,
it doesn't make any sense. Like,
no, it does. It does. It does. It does. You're not crazy, okay? And my one promise on this show, I'm going to get answers wrong. I might get this one wrong, but my promise is always tell the truth, okay? And I know this, that kindness often people who are very, very kind are often very, very lonely too. Is that fair?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
there is a relational lonely, and you're surrounded by people, right? There's a proximity to loneliness. You're surrounded by people who sound like they're amazing. Like you won the lottery when it comes to that. And then
I say that every day. Yeah.
See, that's awesome. Then there's emotional loneliness, where I can be in a crowded room, surrounded by people who love me and that I love, and I feel completely and totally alone. Because nobody knows. I would do anything for someone to be looking me up and down right now. I would do anything for someone to squeeze my hand under the table. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say that out loud because I want to bring everybody's room down because I'm kind. And all these folks in here are really nice. And so I'm going to make sure, they're so great, right? You know what I'm saying? Is that you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hard for me to admit that, but it's like you hit the nail on the head there.
So when's the last time you spoke out loud? Here's what I want, and here's what I need, and here's what I don't have. Because you're somebody who sees yourself as broken. You see yourself as less than, so much that you even blame God for he whiffed on the assembly line. And that's how you see yourself. And the people around you don't see yourself that way. But when they don't see you that way, you put imaginary things in the mix. Have you ever said these words? Well, they're nice to me because I've got CP. Or they invite me out because they don't want me to be lonely because they're nice.
No. My friends, they've been around for so long that they don't even see it anymore. Like, it's just a natural thing. And I want to get to that point with somebody in a dating situation too. And I know that I can get there, but I sabotage it before it even starts.
There you go.
He doesn't like me.
Yeah. So have you ever had somebody be ugly to you dating? Or something weird? Okay, tell me about that.
So I tried the online thing, and so because that's how everybody meets people nowadays, and so I noticed that when I would mention it up front, they would become very sympathetic and they wouldn't want to just go away. They'd want to talk about it, but they weren't interested in dating anymore. But
Gotcha.
Then when there was one time that I didn't mention it and I met them in person, and his reaction, even though it didn't, I don't think it was his fault, but it was extremely poor because he was so distracted by what he didn't realize, what he was getting into or something, So he was just so distracted by that he couldn't see me for who I was. So it wasn't a productive date by any means, and he just wasn't kind. His reaction wasn't kind, and I'll leave it at that. But it was very unkind.
So Chelsea, he was an ass, not you. Right?
Yeah.
His reaction was his poor reaction. It's not a reflection of some shortcoming you have. You're different and you're unique. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
What? Which CP do you have? Like which bucket is it in?
It's spasticity.
A spastic. Okay. So, and you say is it one lower body?
Just in basically my legs.
Okay. And so when somebody hears that on an online chat, I've got cerebral palsy. A, most people don't know what that is. B, they're going to Google it and get to WebMD. And we all know, I got a headache. Well, probably because you have a brain tumor and you're going to be dead in 48 hours, right? So
yes,
when somebody gets that online, they don't have a context for it, okay? And I'm going to, I'll give them grace for that. You don't know what that means. You know what I mean? I don't even know what that is.
Fair. Fair.
I don't know. I don't think you owe somebody that up front. I also would much rather you meet somebody in person because you're a delightful human being and you're surrounded by cool people.
Thank you.
It feels like, is dating feel safer online because you're afraid of someone being an idiot to you?
No, I hate online. I really do.
Okay.
I hate it.
Can I be super, super honest with you?
Yes.
my guess is before this crew, and maybe these been around forever, but you've got a lifetime of people side-eyeing you and or snickering or feeling exposed as you walk through the mall or you walk through an airport.
Yeah.
And that baggage comes with you every time you reach out to connect with somebody. And those bricks in your backpack, for lack of better analogy, that stuff that's happened, those side eyes, those little bitty things have been a pebble in your backpack. Some idiotic moron said something to you in 4th grade because they were 9 and they threw a cinder block in your backpack. You've probably got those stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or some well-meaning goofball at your church, whatever has happened. And all the evidence now points to you are wonderful. So much so that people would rather hang out with you than have a romantic rendezvous alone. That's how cool you are. That's how fun you are to have around. You know what I mean? Even the waitress at the bar y'all frequent think you're some kind of player, dude, because you got a new dude every time. You know what I mean?
Well, I walk in with the girls too. She wasn't sure.
Hey, dude, she thinks you are you are playing across the field, right? So here's the thing. The evidence in your life suggests that people love connecting with you. And so and this is hard because there are idiots and you experience them. There are people that don't know what to say or they think they know what to say and they say the wrong thing, that are uncomfortable around physical differences, or they've never been around people who aren't fully able-bodied. All those things happen. And so there will be some grace on your part, and you probably have a pretty good radar when someone's being an idiot or they just don't know and someone's being a jerk. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're pretty savvy, right? So. You can tell, like, don't say that. I've got friends in my life. My best friend on planet Earth's a paraplegic. I've had other people who are not able-bodied come up and be like, yeah, that may be funny for y'all because y'all have known each other for 40 years. Don't say that ever in public, right? And so when someone's being a jerk or and your friends probably get away with stuff too, right? And if they're your real friends, absolutely. They should. Okay, good. Here's what I want you to remember. That if somebody rejects you, makes a comment, does something dumb because of your differences, that's a sign that they are less than, not you. Okay? Mm-hmm. And the only way forward is for you to take a risk. And my promise to you is you're going to get hurt doing this. And my promise to you is it's the only way you're going to finally let some of those walls down that bridge that gap from friend to, no, you're the one I've been looking for. And the only way to make that bridge is for you to take a risk.
I'm willing to do that, I think.
And what I'm telling you is it's you're worth that risk.
Well, thank you.
And walking around shielding yourself from your heart from love, man, you're not protecting that guy that's going to get suckered into falling in love with somebody who is deficient. You're just going to keep yourself from true connections in that way. Don't do that to Chelsea. You're my friend. Don't do that.
Oh,
is that fair?
Yes, I appreciate that.
Okay. So moving forward, here's the task. I want you to get with your friends, and I want you to, do you watch The Office?
Yeah.
Do you remember that time Michael Scott comes out and he's like, I declare bankruptcy? And they were all like, yes, that's not really how that works. Remember that? That's going to be you. And I want you to get with a core group of 5 or 6 or 10 people and say, Chelsea's officially on the prowl. And I'm going to take risks because I want romantic connection, period. And my guess is they'll all cheer for you and be like, oh, thank God, I've got so-and-so. Or they may not. But I want you to declare it. Say it out loud, okay?
Okay.
Protecting your needs and protecting what you want from everybody else is not kind. It's dishonest, okay? So start telling people what you actually need and what you actually want. And you can tell them, I love hanging out with you. Of course I'm coming out. But if I see him, I'm leaving you guys. You're gonna have to Uber yourself home right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you worth that?
I hope so. I think I am.
No, Chelsea.
I am.
Yes, yes, yes. And there's
yes.
somebody who is dying for a hilarious, kind, fun, open woman like yourself.
I hope.
Nope.
I'm going to find them.
Nope. Hey, if you will just be still and open your heart up, y'all will find each other. They're not hiding from you somewhere. And you're going to get hurt, and there's going to be idiots, and there's going to be people who say the wrong thing, and they don't really mean it, but I didn't mean to say it like that. I meant to say it like this. And just so you know, that happens in in fully able-bodied relationships too. The number of times I've said a thing, and I didn't mean to say it like that with my wife, oh gosh, a lot. A lot, okay? I want you to begin walking through life seeing yourself that if somebody has the opportunity to be with you, they won the lottery. Not they're settling for less than. Okay?
Okay.
Do you promise that?
I will. I promise.
Okay. Homework assignment tonight. 2 things. Number 1, you're going to get the gang together. It doesn't have to be tonight, but you're going to call and get them together and say, I'm making a declaration. Number 2, you are going to write Chelsea a letter tonight.
Okay.
And that letter is going to be one of strength and sexiness and laughter. And here's what I bring. And here's where I'm strong. And here's where somebody would be the luckiest freaking guy on planet Earth to have me. And yes, I walk with a limp and they're going to have to hold my hand. Big freaking deal.
Right.
Right?
It's not a big deal.
Well, then you quit making it.
I know. I'm trying to convince myself when I say it out loud enough that it's not.
No, it's time that you get quiet and write yourself a letter. Okay?
Okay.
Because, hey, here's the deal. It is a big deal. You have cerebral palsy. It's a big deal. It's not something to be minimized, right? And you're still lovable.
Thank you.
And am I just saying that? I don't, you're like, oh, well, thank you. As though I just complimented your wallpaper. Okay? Cool? Same team?
Yes, we're on the same team.
All right, if you're really brave, I want you to write yourself that letter, and I want you to mail it to me.
Okay.
Cool? Is that fair?
I will. Yep.
And if mean things come out in that letter, write it all down. Get it all out there on that paper. Okay?
Okay.
And I want you to go back to what your buddy said. I want you to start treating Chelsea as though she's worthy of being loved, and she's beautiful, and she's sexy, and she's funny, and she's worth a romantic relationship. Cool?
Yes.
Because you're the one holding you back right now. And a whole cascade of idiotic morons on the internet, but ta-da, they're holding everything else back too, right? Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you are hands down one of the most delightful people I've ever gotten to talk to on this show. And you're hands down one of the bravest people. You've been navigating a hard, hard row ahead of you. It's hard. And people don't get it. And, man, somebody is... Talk about winning the lottery. Talk about winning a scratch off with you. It's going to be pretty impressive. You're so great, Chelsea.